let me show you where we are at with update 14. Oh, I'm excited to show you this. Update 14 was supposed to come out a week ago, but that was big cope from me. There are a lot of things that we still have to do. I want to start off by saying, I want to shout out a company here. Not because I am required to, but because I think they are amazing. And because of what has happened since during this week. I haven't just been busy setting up my PC. I've actually been business Iskall as well. It is very important to me that my team of Java developers and artists are compensated for their work. I don't know of any other mod pack that actually pays salaries to their team. Sure, you get a bit of money from CurseForge, from the ad revenue, from the downloads. Considering that that is not even near the monthly cost of one developer, and we have several developers. The payments have instead come from my amazing community and from the patrons that we have, and from the Twitch donators and gift bombers. You guys have been absolutely amazing. I was speaking with our already partner, Bisect Hosting, who, if you don't know, is, I believe, I'm not lying now, I believe they're actually ranked #1 in Minecraft hosting at the moment. When it comes to getting servers, they're actually the #1 now. So, like, Bisect Hosting, for those of you who don't know, most of you know, but you go to their homepage and it takes you like 2 minutes to set up a Vault Hunter server or a vanilla server or any other mod pack server. And they are partnered with us, so if you use the code of Vault Hunters whenever you buy a server from them, we get a cut of that. My team gets a cut of that, and that cut goes into developing Vault Hunters. So if you do want a server and want to support Vault Hunters, please do use Bisect services, because also they are really good. I think we can all agree. Bisect Hosting decided to partner with Vault Hunters, signing with us to help us out, continuing the partnership for the next year this week. This is huge. This is big, 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 big. And it's going to mean that we're going to be able to continue to, between the help of you guys, the Patreon, you know, donators on Twitch, etc., and all of this stuff, the team are going to continue to be compensated for their work, which is great. It's amazing. I can't believe it's got to this point. Now, let's get to update 14 stuff. First of all, what we're going to be focusing on again is the Catalyst system. The reason for this change is that I felt like the Catalyst system was gating people out based on knowledge. I felt like the Catalyst system was way too RNG heavy for people to be enjoying it. And my vision for this was to make the player be more in control of Catalysts, make it easier to understand for new players, make it more available for everyone. And here's what we've done. First, we have this block. This is a crystal workbench. It is unfortunately missing the texture and model right now, but it looks pretty cool. And here's how it looks at the moment. We did it! But basically what this is, and I'm gonna grab a token, a god token. You put your seal in here. And so the seals that can go in here is the yellow one for Brazier, the Guardian seal, the Scavenger seal, and the Elixir seal. No other seal can go in here. And then you put your augment here if you want one. All of these are optional, by the way. All of these are optional. And then the last one is for capstones, which we are currently working on the texture for. So when you put a capstone in, it makes the crystal unmodifiable and it caps it. In this case, it gives the Velaras favor. So there it is! I am super happy with how this UI turned out in the end. I really think these 3 slots were essential. Catalysts, as you can see, they look different now. And this was a big scary thing for me because I remember when Kumara made the original Catalyst, it has been a super staple for the game for a very long time, this texture here. But I think Kumara did an amazing job at making sure that we can see what they are. And now what you can do is you can choose what catalyst to craft. And they're always going to be size 10. So there's no RNG with this. They're always going to come out at size 10. There is a possibility to get smaller catalysts in treasure rooms and completion crates. So you can get smaller ones and ones without a random negative. Rarely. They are supposedly chase items. But if you want to go for Ornate Rush, you can craft a bunch of Ornate catalysts. And you can choose to go Ornate. This one is a custom, the XP one. This is extended, the time one. This is Wealthy, Living, Wooden, Gilded, and Ornate. And I think they are represented very well in the texture. They look so awesome. Yeah, I think they're amazing. And then you take them and you put them in here and you can see that they're added to the crystal, just like that. Here's the thing though. We have the capacity. Currently, what I'm looking at is having 100 capacity at level 100 and 0 capacity at level 0. And I'm looking at increasing it every 10 levels or every level with the player. This way, leveling is going to be more exciting. It's going to be exciting to level up because you're going to get like the ability to build bigger crystals. I actually think that arc is pretty big. Inscriptions are also added into this table. Not there, there. So if you put an inscription in, you will get that room inside. However, we currently haven't figured out what we want to do. We don't know if we want to do the architect thing where the crystal gets completely cleared and this is the only room, or if we want to do the rooms in an order. I'm not entirely sure about that. I'm thinking about like accessibility for the players, thinking about how to learn the rooms. I do think inscriptions are going to get more used if they're more accessible and if they aren't time-based. So they are just like, okay, well, you want the mushroom room? Plop it on here and it's going to be in your vault, the first room that you come out to. So yeah, you put the inscription here as well. It also has a size, as you can see. This is not yet configured. The size will be the same every time you craft one of these. And so inscriptions are probably going to weigh more than catalysts. But it all depends on how we do it. We have a few different things on the table right now. Here's the thing. While the crystal has a capacity, that doesn't mean that the crystal cannot have more catalysts if you want to risk it. I am a big enjoyer of risk versus reward. And so when you've reached 0, if you want to add another catalyst, go ahead. But you're going to get a curse, as you can see. And everything you add to the crystal that exceeds the size adds another curse. Now, what is a curse? Well, they're a bit random, but they are punishing. And in update 14, as I've said before, but just to remind you, we are saying goodbye to the motes. And what curses are we looking at? Well, Ethereal is one of them. So every stack of Ethereal would add 10% of the mobs are immortal. So if you have 10 stacks of it, every single mob in the vault will be immortal. You can't kill the mobs. We are looking at collapsing, which is the curse that spawns random blocks in the vault. I actually think that that's a quite funny one, because it blocks vision and it blocks like projectiles and stuff like this. We're looking at a new one, but it would basically replace random blocks and chests with bedrock. Kind of like an architect vault that wasn't finished in the past. That might be a boring one though. It might be like counterproductive. But it could be good to have it in the mix at least, so that there's a bit of an RNG chance with how much you want to risk it. Because if you risk it too much with curses, you will eventually hit that, and then it's going to cost you chests. Incomplete? Yeah, incomplete curse. Yeah, that's a good name. Now, there are a few things that you might be wondering how we make now. How do I make a cake vault? You will have to acquire a vault rock, which is currently called Seal of the Confectioner. You'll have to acquire a special vault rock. Just like you acquired the seal right now, you would instead buy this thing. And this doesn't apply itself to a crystal. This is not a seal that goes in here. So you can see that doesn't work. This is a vault rock, so you put it on here. But then you complete your vault rock as you would a vault rock, and when you click it, there it is. The cake crystal. And hopefully this is going to simplify the differentiation between modifying a crystal. So the way I see this from a vision side, and this was not easy to figure out, but this is a vision. This is a modified crystal, and this is a created special crystal. But the same is true for a chaos. It won't be a catalyst icon, by the way. We're changing that. But you put it on here, and then you craft it, and you get a chaos crystal. Is the Paradox Vault gone? No, the Paradox Vault works the same. So the Paradox Vault, again, we need to have better textures. But for the Paradox Vault, you're going to need a special rock. And you put the rock on here, you make your Paradox Crystal that way. And everything that's craftable today, so for example, the Paradox Rock, will be craftable also in the update 14. So that doesn't change. You know what the coolest thing would be? Okay, hear me out. Okay, this is not something we are going to be able to do easily. But hear me out. I just got a Giga Chat idea in my brain head. And it may have been because I played Vanilla so much lately. Check it out. When you go into a vault where you've added one inscription, you'd get a map, and it would like have a red cross. It would like have the rooms marked out on a map, and you'd have to find them in the vault. We could have it on like a map. You couldn't have a compass because you would have multiple rooms. But how cool wouldn't it be to have a little mini-map of your vault? And it would be like a grid. It'd be like a grid, and it would just mark where you are, and you'd have to look for the rooms. Would that be fun? Or would that just be annoying? Floor at the start room would be the map. Oh. Oh, see, you're cooking. So if you have added an inscription, your start room floor would actually look like this. In the starting room. But the vault is bigger than the starting room floor, though. But I suppose we could limit it and spawn the inscriptions within a certain radius. So your start would look like this. That is actually super quick to see. So imagine this, right? So you'd have your vault stone. Here we go. Let's see here. You would have your vault stone. You'd have your portal here. Actually, let's make it to the correct size. Is it 3 wide, I think? That's actually a very clean way of showing it. The start room has a... there's no timer, right, in the start room? So you can take your time and memorize it. And look, we would have it so that it would show the inscription. So look, we would do it like this. What's the pedestal? Here we go. So it would actually maybe look like this. I'm just cooking. I'm just cooking. But it would show it something like this, right? But you wouldn't be able to take the inscription off. Would it show other Omega rooms or just the ones you added? No, it would just show the inscriptions, man. It would. Otherwise, you would need to do this with everything, every single one, right? No, so like it would show all the inscriptions that you've added. So let's say that you've added a crystal that looks like, yeah, let's say that you've added a crystal with 2 mushroom rooms, 1 ornate, and 1 X mark room. And so it would have them mapped out for you like this. And maybe the first room would be... Let's say that the first room is an X mark room. And it would look something like this. I don't know how they would render, but... Let's think about how this plays. I actually... It's weird because I think that this would add some fun gameplay to using inscriptions. It would make inscriptions slightly worse, but I think that's a good thing because I think inscriptions are a bit too powerful at the moment. Because remember, we are removing the whole instability in the vault. Like, in a way, we are buffing it because you don't get RNG rolled. Place this down in a vault. Actually, that's a great idea. Okay, so I mean, there is enough space to do this, right? So you would have your start room marked out. Yeah, wouldn't it be awesome if it's like... it's rendering yourself when you go in. And then it would look like this. But not pedestals. It would be rendered slightly different, but you get the idea. Let's see how it looks on an item frame. Yeah, so in this scenario, you would find an X mark in the first room. Then unknown here. This would could of course be an Omega room as well, but it wouldn't be your inscription. So this would be an X mark room. This would be nothing. Imagine if the RNG rolled us there. And then over here we would have a mushroom room. And then we would have a mushroom room here as well. This is only going to be able to show a certain amount of blocks. Let's be realistic here and say that the middle room, the start room, actually has to be there. The vault is a lot bigger than this room can hold items. So when you run an architect vault, let's be realistic. Okay, I'm cooking. Give me a minute. Let's do andesite here, because it's a nice bordered block. And so then we go like this. So if you have an inscription on your crystal, this grid would spawn in. And this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 by 9. So this is 81 rooms. Minus 2. So it's 79 rooms. Minus the middle. So it's 78 rooms. There's no realistic world where you add more than 78 inscriptions. There's also no stop to doing it. You can theoretically do that right now. Don't show the rooms outside this area. No, we won't. No, so that would be a second thing. He'll be like, okay, well, what about the rooms over here? Well, we'll just not spawn inscriptions over there. Oh, I see what you mean. No, this guy is smart. Okay, that's the answer, I think. Hold on. So if someone, for some ungodly reason, would actually go and try and break the game and add more than 78 inscriptions, they will still spawn, but you won't see where they are. That's the cleanest cap, because now you're not actually saying that it doesn't work. You're just saying, well, you're only going to be able to see 78, so, you know, there it is. If you go into a vault that has 0 inscriptions on it, you don't get this grid at all. This is only for the inscriptions. Realistically, a person will not add more than a couple, maybe 3 inscriptions to one crystal. Because it's you're nerfing yourself. Like, realistically, your crystals are going to look like this. Let me show you. Purely realistically, if you're making an ornate crystal, you're going to be looking at something like this. You've added 3 blacksmiths. And you've added... Remember, everything is size-based. This is a level 100 crystal. And you've added, let's see here. You've added 3 ornates and 2 X marks. I think we can all agree that this is a more realistic thing that's going to happen. This is my ideal. When you put an inscription on, you still get a normal vault. With the objective and everything like that. But you get the rooms that you have inscribed in the crystals placed down. Lore-wise, that makes a lot of sense to me. You inscribe, you modify your crystal to have certain rooms, and so they spawn in. And the map is to make sure that people understand where those rooms are. Could you make it so that the inscriptions have a higher chance to spawn closer? Yeah, I think that there needs to be a weighted ring, okay? I think that the most reasonable thing to do is to do it this way. This might be a mega big task for Voodoo. We might not be able to do this, but I'm just talking ideal. I'm dreaming, okay? Yeah, so right now with these numbers, it would be a 53% chance to get your inscription to spawn in this circle. It would be a 5 plus 9 is 14, 14 through 17. It'd be an 82% chance to get your rooms to spawn in these circles. Like in the blues. 82% chance. That's some good weights. True? It would be an 82% chance for your inscriptions to spawn in the blue. And it would be, let's just do it for funsies, a 94% chance that it would spawn in the green-blue. So it's only a 6% chance that you get one of these distant rooms. Yeah, I think that's fair. It's gonna happen. You're gonna get rolled that your one room that you made is gonna be like there. But even then, it's not too far. It's not like you're not gonna be able to make it there and back. What I do think will happen, I do think that the living chest's value is gonna go up, because I think that people will realize, or people will... I can picture a world where people are gonna put an inscription on a crystal every now and again. Because it's so much more accessible. Instead of just hoarding them for that one mega crystal and then get rolled by RNG. If you think about it right now, an inscription is only works like 75% of the time. No, 80% of the time it ends up working for you. And even then, it's like a pretty boring experience. If I put one in here like this, boom. I'm going to get that grid when I go in, and I'm going to see where this room is that I've inscribed. I think it makes so much sense lore-wise. And also, here's another thing. Dudes, I just realized this. This allows us to create more rooms that are like unique. Like we could create inscriptions in the future. Rooms that aren't available without inscriptions. Like challenge rooms that you don't come across in normal vaults. You have to find a special inscription for them. And then add it to your normal vaulting experience. And it's like massive reward if you beat it. We couldn't do that in the past because there was no objective. I'm a big enjoyer of this. I think that's it. I think that is what we need to do. I am a big fan, although I do think Kumara has made some amazing rocks. This is Kumara's idea of vault rocks. This is an amazing texture, but I think that I'm gonna change it. I think that I wanted to have this base model because this is too confused. Looks too much like a crystal in my opinion, even with the border. So I think another thing that I have to do in this update, and it might seem like a weird thing, but it's purely because of cosmetic reasons. I may skip this whole process. Does it actually matter to have this recipe? What if there wasn't any chipped vault rock? What if there was just a vault rock that you get immediately from mining the vault rock stuff? Does that actually hurt the game? I think not. Like it doesn't, like in the beginning it seems like very hard to get a lot of them, and then after level 10 you have infinite. Update 15, which is planned for July, the start of Vault Hunter Season 4, Vault Hunters SMP Season 4, is going to have raid rooms, okay? And a bit of other content, unique items. Unique items are actually in the game at the moment, but I don't have enough models to launch them. But the code is in the game. And that you can consider end game for sure. Like unique items are really cool. Can I get a unique item and show you guys? Yeah, there it is. The tower. +1 armor. Okay, that was a badly configured example. Tower of the dog, yeah. Yeah, here's the jester. It's a hat that always rolls lucky hits. And it can roll to 10%, which no other helmet can get. However, it doesn't have armor, as you can see. So unique items are in the game. They just need to have models and then be configured. This has a model. And you can't transmog them either. You'll have to look like this. Here we go. The Grim Shield. 7 levels to fear. A shield. It doesn't have any block chance, but it gives you fear. You see, so very, very niche. Very, very niche items. The tower chestplate that I showed that was wrongly configured does have a model. It looks like this. That's the tower chestplate. How sick isn't that? And what it's going to do is it's going to give you 100% knockback. So it's going to have knockback resistance instead of armor. The Grim Shield, the one with fear. I have that one. Looks like that. Then we have another shield, which is the... I don't know what I call this one. But it's like a fossil. It's hard to see here, but it's like a fossil in a stone. It's like an ancient stone. I might very well put unique items in update 14, but there won't be that many. That's the problem. But we do have some models that are unachievable at the moment, like the Jester hat and like this shield. So I might create unique items around the models I have. I have a couple of swords as well, a few chest plates. Another cool thing with unique items is that there will be a limited amount. Let's say 5 chest plates, right? So when you get a unique chest plate drop, you have a, you know, if there are 5, you have a 20% chance of pulling the one that you're looking for. And I think that's really cool. How does it work with leveling up with unique items? So, the unique items follows the level of the item. So, for example, the Grim Shield here would have a higher durability at higher level, but it wouldn't have a higher fear level of fear. Then when you have other items that may have 2 armor rolls like this, then of course the armor pool is taken from the level of the item. So if this would be a level 100 item, the armor ranges would be much higher, right? You might find something at level 25, but then at level 100 you might find it again, but it's going to be a lot better at level 100. Does that make sense? Here's another thing that I want to do in regards of gears is, and this comes back to the inscription thing. I want to make a room that you can find where you can upgrade for a cost gear to your current level. So that's going to be really important with unique items. Let's say that you find a super rare unique at level 33. Well, now you can at level 100, if you find one of these forge rooms or whatever it would be, upgrade it to level 100 and it would re-roll as level 100. Yeah, it would have to have a drawback somehow though. I don't know what that drawback would be. On normal items it's easy. You can just make them unmodifiable afterwards. You could corrupt them. But on unique items, I don't know what it would be. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm really excited. I love developing Vault Hunters. I love playing this game and hanging out with you guys about it. It is a lot of fun. And thank you for being part of this Vault Hunter community.